feel like that stun gun fight was right in the middle of you've been flying ever since, really. You haven't lost a fight.
Yeah, it is. I love looking back at that fight because that was kind of my takeoff point when I really knew that I had to step my game up and start, creating a circus and start marketing and promoting myself better because, I always had the skills to beat everybody in the world, but, at that time I just wasn't getting attention and nobody would fight me. So, that was my launching pad when I fought Dong Hum Kim in Singapore.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about that Candace Owens interview where you kind of got to spell it out for someone from the outside what this industry's like and what it takes to get to the top. Was that refreshing for you, and what's the response been like to that?
Yeah, it was refreshing to kind of let that off my chest and kind of pull back the curtains and let people know, a little bit more into what I'm doing and what I've been up to lately, and all the shenanigans and the crazy promos and all that stuff. It's all been me. It's all been real, but I just had to turn things up to 11 to, get better financial gain and make a better living for myself.
We're right on the cusp of you fighting for the world title. I mean, we've seen you fight for the belt before, but this is going to unify things. And everything you've done, I feel like the hard work, the victories, plus, promoting, it's all got you here. So do you feel kind of vindicated in everything that you've done now?
Yeah, definitely. The UFC's tried to hold me back and they didn't want me to get here, but that's the blue collar way is, you make your own way, you earn it the hard way. And I've never been given anything, and I had to earn everything the hard way and the long way. So, it's been a great journey that I've been on, and I can't wait to cap it off on Saturday night with the undisputed title.
You talked to Dan Lambert, he always mentions you being one of the hardest workers in the room, that you've got a third lung. Was that frustrating for you, knowing that you were probably the hardest worker in the room and maybe one of the hardest workers in the promotion, but still not getting what you deserve?
Yeah, man, big time. It was, it sucked. I can't lie. At times I thought about, not even doing it anymore. I thought that maybe I should just retire. If I'm not going to make good money and I can't fight, these high level guys and no one would fight me in the rankings, what am I working for? What's the point in putting all this hard work in? So, I questioned myself in my career multiple times, but, the biggest thing about it is that I never gave up. And, that's what people should learn from me is that if you never give up and you always keep believing, good things will happen and you can do anything you set your mind to.
There's been plenty of back and forth between you and Kamaru Usman, but he's good at a lot of the things you're good at. He's a hard worker too. He's a great wrestler. Do you respect him in that way, that he is a hard worker and he is a great wrestler?
Nah, because he didn't do it how I did it. I did it the natural way. He did it the scientific way. He was pumped up with steroids. I know for a fact he's on EPO. So, I don't respect that guy in any which way or form. And Saturday night, I'm going to leave him in a blood form.
I feel like a lot of people are excited about the prospect of your fight. I think a lot of people feel that you're a real problem for him. Do you feel that, especially having gone through the experience of people not giving you enough attention for your fights? It seems to have gone the other way now. Are you feeling a lot of interest both from fans and media?
Yeah, definitely. People know who I am now. I can't go around in Florida without going to the grocery store, without having to take multiple pictures and kiss multiple babies and sign autographs. So, I've done a great thing in the sport and I built this up into something larger than life. And it's amazing. I love it, because I know under the pressure and the brightest lights, that's when I perform the best. So you're going to see the best Colby Chaos Covington on Saturday night, only on pay-per-view.
I go back to that Singapore fight when you fought Stun Gun. That seemed like the start of everything. Did you sit down with Dan Lambert, or was this totally something that you came up with yourself, this trajectory? Did you envision how long it's going to take you to get to the title, who you needed to beat, and then maybe once you get it, what you're going to do then?
To be honest, right after that fight in Singapore with Dong Hum Kim, Dan Lambert was like, hey, we're going to go do a pro wrestling angle with Impact Wrestling, and I'm going to teach you the ways of promotion, marketing, and the way pro wrestling does their thing. And that's a proven seller for the pay-per-view model and a proven to get fans interested and to really become a larger than life character. And ever since Dan brought me to Impact and I started learning the ropes of pro wrestling, that's what changed my career in the UFC forever.
Last time we saw you was in New York, and I saw that video on your Twitter visiting the Trumps there. Do you feel invigorated by that? Because they obviously have to deal with, half the people loving them, half the people haters online and stuff like that. Do you feel invigorated by that whole trip?
Yeah, man, I feel energized. I feel motivated. I feel inspired by, what the Trumps have done for me. I'm sitting in, a beautiful suite over in the Trump Tower right now in Vegas. They've taken the VIP, they've given me the VIP treatment, just like they give America the VIP treatment. They've rolled out the red carpet and done so much for me, man. Just literally just give me a platform and really promoted me and helped me. And they're like a second family to me, man. I can't thank the Trumps enough from the bottom of my heart for everything they do. And, man, they're keeping America great, and they're going to keep keeping America great in 2020.
Does the timing feel good to you about fighting for this title? Because the welterweight division is really sparkling right now in terms of exciting fights, in terms of storylines. We've got yourself fighting for the title. We just had the BMF belt. Now Conor McGregor is going to fight Cowboy at welterweight. So there's so many good fights coming up. If you were to win the belt, there's some huge money for you coming your way if you're going to defend it against any of those guys. So is that exciting for you?
Yeah, it is exciting. It's exciting, that they made a fake Bernie Sanders participation trophy for the BMF, which actually stands for Broken Mediocre Fighter. And, the winner of that, journeyman George Masvidal, a.k.a. Street Judas, is a complete joke. He's a buffoon. I'll expose that guy so bad. I mean, we've trained for so many years. He knows he's honestly going to duck me so hard. He's not going to want to fight me. He knows how good I am. So, that's an easy money fight. And let's be honest, the Irish leprechaun, Conor McGregor, he couldn't even knock that old dude off the bar stool. What's he going to do to raw American steel and twisted sex appeal?
Somebody posted a video I saw of, it's kind of a compilation of you and Jorge Masvidal when you were buddies, and you guys are training together, wrestling, drinking together, not alcohol, but And I was kind of sad. I was like, oh my God, these guys were really good friends. I mean, is it sad to you that you were really good buddies and now it's come to this?
Nah, not at all, because, this is a better business decision. And he let the money and fame get to him. And I just realized who was real and who wasn't real. He was never real with me. It was always just about him using me to help him with training and beat him up all the time so he could get better from it. So, I'm glad that this happened. Now I'm going to expose him in front of the whole world and show how big of a piece of shit he is. He's a dirtbag.